last week we asked you which Peacock genre you wanted to hear more about. You voted. You told us you wanted more movies. And so what better way to start off your summer with a franchise starring the ocean's most terrifying creature? He's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. Yes, it is Jaws. Jaws premiered in theaters 46 years ago this week, June 20th, 1975, and famously scared beachgoers off the beaches all summer long. Starting July 1st, you can watch the entire Jaws saga, Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, and Jaws the Revenge on Peacock. Perfect way to kick off your summer. So, get to watching and be scared of what's in the water. That's the end of that one. I don't have any kind of particular shark fear, but I don't like swimming in ponds or lakes or anything where the water is so dark I can't see too far below the surface. It really creeps me out. And I think part of that has to do with Friday the 13th, because I'm afraid a hand's going to come up and grab my leg from the seaweed below and pull me under. It's a rational fear.
I mean, you'd be surprised. It happens more often than you'd think. So,
I guess
horror movie kill scenes happen more often than you think.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're more. Are they more likely than a shark attack? I haven't seen the latest shark attack numbers.
Probably, I would say so.
Yeah.
Deal. We're so good at improv.
Yeah. Probably.
Probably. Why not?
Exactly.
Audrey, what franchise are you excited about?
So it's a little franchise called Leprechaun, which is also totally scary in a different way. If you're afraid of creepy leprechauns hiding in your basement looking for their stolen pot of gold, this is really for you. And the reason I really wanted to highlight it is because I'm sure you guys know, as you are experts in all things entertainment, but a 24-year-old Jennifer Aniston got her start in the movie biz with this movie, which is just crazy to me that, she was hunting leprechauns in this movie. But there are 8 of these Leprechaun films. They started in 1993 and just kept on going. And some of them are crazy and some are crazier. And they're just a boatload of fun to watch. And you can watch them on Peacock. So that is my pick, the Leprechaun franchise. I don't know if anyone has any rational or irrational leprechaun fears, but that's what we got.
No,
go ahead,
not
Scott.
really.
I saw you going for it.
I mean, once it sort of went the route of going into space or Leprechaun in the Hood, I was just like, this isn't scary anymore. I mean, what would be scarier is if you changed places with Lucky, the Lucky Charms leprechaun, and just that would be more terrifying, going after the children's, and their Lucky Charms, that stuff. No? Okay.
Audrey, you're the only one among us who's a human parent, and I don't know if they still do this, but when I was in elementary school, we used to around St. Patrick's Day build leprechaun traps. We build a box to try and trap a leprechaun, and then the teacher would come through and put green footprint stamps leading down the hallway into the classroom and sort of mess with the traps to make it look like they had messed with it, like Santa Claus eating the cookies and leaving crumbs behind.
Yeah. We never did that in school, but that is a very popular Pinterest mom trend where you try to be the mom that does it all and does all the cool things and for every holiday, and you make a whole hoopla about it all. And I've definitely seen that before and thought it was probably as a kid super fun, but I didn't ever actually do it.
Yeah, I can't believe I was ever at a point in my life where even as a child I believed that possibly leprechauns were real. But I don't know, I guess if you believe in Santa, that you could believe in leprechauns too.
What? Leprechauns aren't real.
Oh, sorry.
What if there are children watching, guys? You just you spoiled it. Come on.
Sorry, it's children. Scott, moving on for something else not for the children is your franchise pick.
Yeah, so I totally noticed that we all picked horror movies, which is amazing because Peacock has a lot more horror classics than I expected. But my pick is the Wishmaster franchise, which is like an absolute 90s classic, produced by horror icon Wes Craven and features a ton of cameos, at least in the first one, from horror royalty, like Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, Kane Hodder, who plays Jason, Tony Todd, who is Candyman, and Ted Raimi from The Evil Dead. So for those unfamiliar, Wishmaster is about a djinn, which is a fancy word for a genie, who is like the polar opposite of the Aladdin type. So this guy is like an entirely malevolent creature who grants wishes solely to make them come true in like the worst way possible for people, all while trying to fulfill this like ancient prophecy in which granting 3 wishes to the person who woke him allows him to like conquer Earth. Because, you know, there's always like Earth conquering that's happening. But super, super cool. Like the practical effects are really, really intense, like especially for the 90s. So if you're a fan of like gruesome horror, totally recommend checking this one out.
Nice.
Have either of you seen it? No?
I have not, but I do feel like I would absolutely mess up like a wish situation and end up with the worst possible scenario. Like I'd ask for the power of flight and I just float off to the moon and be done with. Like that would happen 100% with my wishes.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think you can actually make a wish that isn't going to result in something bad with this guy, but who knows?
I know. I don't know how I haven't seen it.
No.
Because I love Robert Englund and like Freddy Krueger is my absolute favorite of all of the horror people. So I'll have to check that one out for sure.
Yeah. Of course, movies aren't the only franchises available on Peacock. There are so many great TV and sports franchises to check out, including my personal favorite. It's not going to surprise anyone who knows me or has seen me on the show. It's the WWE Network. Back in April, Peacock became the exclusive home of the WWE Network, which features thousands of hours of pro wrestling action, including Raw, SmackDown, and NXT replays, every pay-per-view event ever, and original series. And you don't have to be a new wrestling fan to enjoy it. One of my favorite series is called The Monday Night Wars, which is a docu-series that chronicles the battle for pro wrestling supremacy between WWE and WCW in the 90s. Today, I randomly put on a 1992 episode of WWF, then WWF Superstars, and it featured a match between The Undertaker and the Berserker, which just brings me right back to watching wrestling as a kid on Sunday mornings, and still believing like everything was totally legit and a walking zombie man was fighting a giant barbarian man. And where did they come from? From parts unknown, if we've learned anything from wrestling. And I also love Broken Skull Sessions series with Stone Cold Steve Austin, as well as WWE 24 and WWE Ride Along. So there's a little bit of something out there outside of just watching matches in the ring. And it's all on WWE Network on Peacock. The end.
The end. Wow. So mine, if I'm next,
yes,
is the Real Housewives franchises. So on Peacock, you can watch back seasons of Real Housewives of Dallas, Atlanta, Beverly Hills, New Jersey, New York, Orange County, and Potomac, which is amazing. Like, take your pick. They're all amazing. And you can't be bothered to pick if it's just too much pressure and you can't decide which franchise to go with. You can just tune to the Real Housewives channel in Peacock for a random episode, which is so awesome. Sometimes at the end of the day, I'm just sick of making decisions and I just want them to be made for me. So you just flip it on and there you go. Like, just a wonderful, sure to be amazing episode of Housewives waiting for you. So if you're a reality TV fan, this is the place for you. And I think Scott has another reality TV franchise.
I do. But we would be like remiss if I didn't ask you who your favorite housewife is.
Oh, man. Well, we've been talking about this season of Beverly Hills and how Kathy Hilton is just like the most wonderful gift we've ever been given on Bravo. Right?
Seriously.
She's so
icon,
funny.
Legend. So good. So good.
But like, does she even know?
I don't think she does. I think that's the beauty of it. She's like so blissfully unaware of like how pure she is. Like, like who travels with a giant box fan everywhere they go? Like who drinks a Red Bull at 12 and like or 12 or 2 a.m. or whatever and is like, oh, I thought it was a soft drink. Like what world are you living in that you didn't know that a Red Bull was an energy drink? Like mind blown. But anyways,
then she shows up to like she shows up to like Sutton's Paris party and everyone's all fancy with like hats and dresses and polka dots. And she's like wearing a blazer and jeans. And she's like, this is how I do Paris during the day. I don't know about you. And just like, is so cool. The best.
Iconic, honestly.
So currently she's my favorite at the moment.
I want to pull the conversation back now. I didn't realize we were going to ask specific questions to our franchises, but who is your favorite 1990s pro wrestler? I know it's going to be harder for Audrey. Both of you.
Oh, I mean, the one that certainly stands out is, I mean, I've said this before, Gold Dust, not just for the queer undertones, but like, well, no, mostly the queer undertones.
I don't think they were undertones. They were overtones, I think, Scott.
You're right. But also, like, I know he's not really a wrestler, but Paul Bearer really sung to me, like, you know, just the, oh, yes, that whole thing, like, honestly, like the best.
I always love a Paul Bearer conversation.
Oh, and China. I mean, obviously China, because China. So.
Yeah. Audrey, any pulls from you from back in the 90s?
I think Shawn Michaels. He was like the bad boy, right?
He was.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels I'm going to go with because, you know, he was fun. He was stirred up the drama, and that's what you want in wrestling, right? You want craziness.
The Heartbreak Kid stirred up the drama on and off the screen, and I'm sure on. Yeah. I think there's a like a documentary on WWE Icons, which is a WWE Network series about Shawn Michaels. So definitely check that out. Scott, your franchise?
Right. My TV franchise, and I know I've talked about this before on the live show, is Below Deck. And I'll say it again, I'm like properly obsessed with this show. It all started a few months ago. Picture it. We're like peak pandemic. I'm on my couch, typing away on my computer. I put Bravo on in the background. And before I know it, I'm like wrapped up in some drama with a girl named Hannah and some drugs that she brought on board. I mean, like, needless to say, I had to circle back and get all of the details. So, I mean, I fell hard first for Below Deck Med. Then I got onto like the crazy train with Sailing Yacht. And soon I'll be churning through the OG, which I haven't started yet. So kind of waiting on that one because I hear that that's pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, like, who would have thought that the lives of charter yacht staff and their like kooky guests would be so damn interesting? But like, I'm a believer now. And I'm totally into this series, so sign me up. And like the beauty of like being able to just put it on Peacock and like watch it from the beginning and not have to worry about like bouncing between different services or like missing episodes is A+. So love it. And Audrey, I know you watch as well, right?
I do. And the thing that I always wonder at the end of every episode, I don't know, David, have you ever seen it?
I have, but just episodes here or there. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, it's like, okay, we got the tip. And like they all go like and huddle around a table and like an envelope of cash is divvied out. And I never know what's good or not. Like they'll be like, okay, and we got the tip. It's $20,000. And I'm like, is that a lot? Is that a little? Like, I need someone to break down to me like what an average tip is, like what is extra? Are we happy? How do we feel? Because I never know. It's like, I don't know, it's such a weird thing to wonder, but I just never know. Is it good or bad?
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. I've like chartered yachts before, but like nothing like these sizes. But I don't remember. I didn't pay the tip, so I have no clue like what is actually like a reasonable amount. Also,
I've chartered yachts before. Oh, come on.
Well, now you know.
Bougie.
I can't wait to make it your Christmas T-shirt that says "I've chartered yachts before."
Yeah. Wait, I have to write that. Don't forget that because I have to write that down.
I will not forget. What a revelation!
Well, moving on.
We'll move on for that. But I am curious because there's three different. There's below deck med, and below deck sailing yacht. Do you have a specific favorite out of the three?
Me personally?
Me or Scott?
Any of you? Yeah. You both watch.
Personally, I love Below Deck Med. I mean, Captain Sandy is iconic, if not a little variable in her approach to disciplining people. But I just find the staff more interesting in that show. Like Sailing Yacht, everybody just seems like a bit of a mess. And I don't really connect with any of those people as much. But it's like, this dude cheated on you, and then you're going to go back and sleep with him. Why? That's a dumb move. But yeah, I don't know. That's so Below Deck Med for sure for me. But I haven't seen the OG, so I can't speak, with certainty there.
The original Below Deck is great. Below Deck Med is also great. I agree. In order for me, they would be Med, OG, and then Sailing Yacht. Because Captain Lee is also great, but you haven't really met him yet if you're just doing Captain Sandy. But it's super fun. And actually, starting now with the new season of Below Deck Med on Peacock, you can watch episodes a week early on Peacock. So you don't have to wait for them to air on Bravo. You can watch them a full week before all of your friends and know what's going on, which is super awesome.
Wow.
So, yes, Below Deck. Mm-hmm.
David, who's your favorite captain? Is it Captain Noah?
My favorite No, it's Captain Crunch is my favorite
I knew
captain.
you were going to say Captain Crunch.
Of course.
And the Crunch berries, but not all berries. I mean, you have to have the little barrels and the berries because too much berries is just ridiculous.
Captain Crunch hurts your mouth. No. Shut it down.
It sure does. But I'll still enjoy it.
Is there a version that's just all berries and no barrels?
Yeah, it's called Oops, All Berries.
Wow. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. That's
also,
been
never
cereal
realized
talk.
They were barrels.
I don't know if they're barrels, but they look like little barrels. I'm sure there's an actual thing that they are.
They're treasure chests.
Oh.
Aren't they?
Oh, they might be.
There's a lot of reaching that's happening here. They could just be rectangles. I'm just throwing that out there.
They could just be cereal bits.